I think that's where I see a lot of resistance to your point, is that the bigger, well, let's call them conglomerates, for example, right? Like they have a lot more resources, a lot more manpower. The CEO, to be frank, probably has more time to fly to Washington or fly to London or fly to Paris to meet with heads of state, etc., to like deliver their message in person. And so, and also they see a more direct correlation between these grand policies and their business. While for the more medium-sized and smaller companies, they might question why they need to get involved. And here's what I say to that is that there are times when your interests, again, let's use a manufacturing example. There are times when a policy might benefit a GE, but let's say will not benefit you. And if the CEO of GE or Simmercyle or Caterpillar or a big company like that is in the room, shaping these policies and you're not, then odds are whatever final policy looks like, you end up having to like completely change your business or eat a lot of like increased costs as a result. I'll give you a good example. There's a big push on the way right now in the United States to encourage more domestic manufacturing. Yes. Right? It would not be the first time anyone listening to me to say it is very expensive to manufacture in the United States. Like wages alone will be a lot more higher than you would probably spend elsewhere. It's not guaranteed that the raw materials will be available domestically. You might have to import them from somewhere else to put them together here. And so, as a smaller company or medium-sized company, you are required by virtue of just like your bottom line to find, to source from India, source from Pakistan, Vietnam, and potentially China, because that's the only way you can afford to manufacture what you're doing. If you're a bigger company, you might be able to, bigger company with bigger pockets, it might be easier for you to say, you know what, to appease and to build goodwill with lawmakers and administration, sure, I'll build a factory in Houston. I'll build a factory in South Carolina because you have the pockets to do that. And you've seen there'll be lots of announcements by various like chip manufacturers, like promising to relocate, facilities to the United States because they can afford to. If you're the smaller company, you need to be educating lawmakers that look, it's not a one size fits all approach to in the industrial policy. The answer cannot be everyone needs to come back home, right? There needs to be a more nuanced policy than just that. And I think for those companies, that's why they need to get their voice in these conversations. Now, to answer the second part of your question, they don't have the time, right? Like if you're already a small, medium-sized company, you're wearing 50 hats a lot of times. So you can't take time from that to go, have meetings and etc. And I think that's where, firms like mine come in for a shameless plug, but also I think trade groups and trade associations are very valuable for this because when you join these associations, they will do a lot of the legwork for you. They have the connections, they have the lobbyists, they have a CEO who usually is like a former administrative official that has connections that will help relay those messages on your behalf to the relevant stakeholders.